Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, in today's video, we're gonna take a look at an area of your life where you feel like you could use a little more balance. We're gonna take a look at what part of your life is out of balance today, why it might be out of balance, and what the lesson is over there. And also some advice on how you can rebalance that aspect of your life and just any general advice the universe has for you. So, as always, I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your piles. For pile one, we have this beautiful citrine rock. For pile two, we have a sodalite. And for pile number three, we have a carnelian. So, as with every reading, I'll give you guys some time to look at which pile calls to you intuitively, and all the timestamps, as always, are in the description below. If this reading resonates with you, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And without much further ado, I'll see you at your pile. Pile number one, hello, and welcome to your reading about what aspect of your life needs a little balance today. So, if you picked this citrine crystal, then this is your reading. Welcome. So, I should mention that when I was shuffling your cards, they wanted to come out in twos, and this happened to two piles. Yours was one of the two piles. So you might be seeing repeating number twos. You might be seeing things in pairs. I didn't want them to shuffle out in pairs, but you know. Anyway, today I've gone ahead and shuffled out some tarot cards for you, as well as some oracle cards. So with our cards, we'll take a look at what it is in your life that is currently out of balance, what the lesson might be here with this imbalance, and finally how you can restore balance to this aspect of your life. And then we'll take a look at any advice the universe has. So, what aspect of your life is a little out of balance right now? Pile number one, we have the Chariot in reverse, and that is clarified by the Two of Pentacles, which is funny because the Two of Pentacles in and of itself speaks of balance. And, oh, okay, this is interesting. So that's a two, and there's a pair of pentacles there. And there's two little, I think these are like barracudas. Like, there's two of these guys driving the chariot forward. Interesting. Okay. So, with the Chariot in reverse, it feels like something is slowed down in your life. Something isn't moving quite as fast as you would like it to. And this could especially apply in an emotional context, because the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it talks all about emotions and mother wounds. Possibly you might find that you're trying to rebuild a relationship with your mother or a mother figure, and that's kind of slow. But also the Chariot usually talks about fast forward movement, and so to have that in reverse talks about things feel a little slow. Almost like you're kind of juggling a lot. There's a lot on your plate right now. And you might feel like you don't have a moment to rest, and you're doing so much, but you're getting nothing done. It's like you have a list of 300 chores to be done, and you've been working all day and night, and you haven't made even a dent in your list. So it's like going fast but getting nowhere. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. You might find yourself quite exhausted very often, because a lot of forward momentum requires very specific energy levels, and it feels like with the Chariot in reverse, it's like you're not able to access that level of energy that would help you move forward. Interesting. But what is the imbalance? What aspect of your life does this apply to? I think this might be an emotional thing that's manifesting as a physical imbalance. Like there might be very deep, turbulent emotions inside you that want to be felt, and unless you address them, you're going to find yourself in this, whirlwind of things are spinning but going nowhere. What is the lesson here for my pile number 1? We have the Two of Cups in reverse, and that is clarified by the Hanged Man. Okay, interesting. There's a couple different messages here. For those of you who might be in a new relationship, again, that too. Oh, interesting. You might be in a relationship that's quite turbulent, and as a result, that kind of turbulence is bleeding over into other aspects of your life as well. It's like this feeling of you haven't met your match yet. Because with the Hanged Man here, this is the card of new perspective, of new a new outlook on any situation. There's a lot of 2s because this is 2, this is 7, which is written out as 5 and 2 on this card. This is 12, which is written out as 10 and 2 on this card because Roman numerals, and these are both 2s. There's lots of repeating 2s. You might be a life path 2. You might be born on the 2nd or the 22nd of the month. Anyway, so that's just extra confirmation. The point is, you feel like it feels like you're trying to convince yourself you've found exactly what you're meant to be doing or whom you're meant to be with. And the universe is currently urging you to reconsider that or look at it from a different perspective. So, okay, let's go with the relationship example. Say now you've met someone new, all right? You've just started seeing someone, you've started getting to know each other and that, but you have a very specific idea in your mind about what your perfect partner should be like. And I'm not talking about, the necessary bits. Like, obviously, we all have the bare minimum that we need from whomever we speak to, be it platonic, romantic, whatever. But you might have very strict ideas as to what you're looking for. And this person, it almost feels like they don't match that ideal. However, it's like you can feel that there's an emotional connection, because with this Cups and this Cancer card, there is an emotional connection, but it's not exactly what you expected. And with the Hanged Man here, you're being called to look at the situation from a higher perspective of, so what if this person doesn't fit my tiny little list of attributes? As I'm saying this, it's 20 to 11 on the clock. So what if this person doesn't fit my tiny little list of ideals that I made from my very human perspective and very limited experience? Can I open my mind up a little bit and reconsider the things that really matter? So that's one possible interpretation. If you're not thinking about a relationship right now, if you're solid in that aspect, this could be so many things. It could be a project you want to start working on. It could be a career that you want to start working on. It could be a friendship, a family situation, whatever it is. It's like you have a very specific idea of how it should progress, and it's not getting there. But instead of looking at things from a different perspective and reconsidering your methods, it's like you're kind of trying to use your very rigid techniques, and as a result it's not working. And that's because you're not meant to use what you already know. You're meant to learn through this experience. Say now you want to start a business, right? You've grown up seeing businesses started a very specific way, businesses run a very specific way. And so you are trying to then apply those principles, all of that dogma, to your specific business, and it's not working. Instead of considering, is my business the right fit for this technique or this method of running a business, what you're doing instead is going on with the same method, just forcing yourself to do it over and over and over again, expecting that the outcome will be different. So if, say, you've heard that a successful business requires your business owner to wake up at 5 a.m. and do their affirmations and drink only green tea and no caffeine and eat only raw vegetables and brain stuff and do brain smoothies and do Sudokus before you even do anything. And that worked for some businesses. You've attempted to apply that to your business, to your strategy for mentally preparing for the day or whatever, and it's not working. And instead of asking yourself, does this align with who I am as a business owner? What you're doing is continuing someone else's process, continuing engaging in that, and then wondering why it's not working. Well, it's because it's not you. And so the lesson here, part one, is to really let your project, your business, your situation take the lead instead of trying to control it. Allow it to unfold and allow it to tell you what it needs from you rather than you trying to dictate the terms. Does that make sense? I hope that's not too abstract, because I know sometimes I tend to get a little carried away with these messages, but I hope that's not too abstract. So say now you're an artist like me. You're trying to use a tried and true formula that has created success for other artists in the past, and it's not working for you. Instead of constantly repeating it, hoping that one day it will work, reconsider. Ask yourself, what does my art need from me? What does my success as an artist actually look like? Does it look identical to someone else's success? Chances are it doesn't, because you are your own person and you have your own goals and individual desires for your future. You have your own aspirations. So then maybe work backwards from that point. Okay, if I am meant to live my ideal life, what does my ideal self do on a day-to-day basis? Can I incorporate some of those habits into my life today? Let your vision take the lead is the overarching message. Because the more you try to control this, the harder it's going to be. And the more you're going to be caught in this rut of just being a hamster in the wheel. You're spinning and spinning and spinning and getting nowhere. Consider a different perspective. Consider the outcome and then work backwards from there. Going back to that relationship example, if your ideal outcome is to settle down with someone you care about very deeply and someone you build a strong, healthy relationship with, in that position, as someone who has that, would these little details make any difference whatsoever? Would it matter to you at all if they don't look like what your usual type is, or if they don't have the job or qualifications that you want in your ideal partner? Would it matter 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, when you're celebrating your anniversary with them? Would any of this even make a difference? You're being called to consider a different perspective and to work backwards from the outcome rather than keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So how can you bring balance to this situation? We have the star. Yes. Live in the outcome. Live as the outcome. This is another Aquarius card, you guys. Lots of heavy Aquarius energy. Aquarius season might become crucial to your journey. So that is late January, early February. Yeah, I think that's because February to March is Pisces season. Yeah, so it's late January, early February is Aquarius time. That time of year might be quite crucial to your progress in the situation. And we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Perhaps a lot of this imbalance comes from talking about your situation to people with very limited experience, people who are in the same hamster wheel as you. Perhaps the issue is that when you are looking for a solution to your exhaustion, to your situation in general, you might be asking the people who don't share the same end goal as you. And you might be asking people who don't see the same vision as you do. And so with the Star and the Six of Pentacles in reverse, perhaps look inwards for the answers instead. Maybe this journey isn't just about building a successful business or relationship externally, but it is maybe about going inwards and learning to ask yourself for the answers that you seek outside. Maybe it's more a journey of personal development that is simply manifesting as this in order to get your attention. Because with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Six of Pentacles upright talks about someone in power giving you something, someone giving you a gift, giving you, well, in this case, giving money to the needy and the deserving. Someone in a position of power helping you out. So to have that in reverse kind of tells me that you're at a point where you don't want these people to be helping you. You shouldn't want these people to be giving you their advice, because it could be dated advice. It could be advice that is very specific and works for a very specific situation. And you're being called to look at your vision. What is your dream? What is the thing that you want to achieve? Because I feel like your end goal first of all, it might not even be defined enough. So definitely go about defining your ideal outcome for the situation. But second of all, whatever that is, whatever your ideal outcome is, it is so unique to you and so specific to you and so different to what the world has seen frequently. It's so different that current methods just don't work. It's like you're being invited to almost invent the path there. This is giving very trailblazer vibes, very you're not in your Aries element enough, and you're being kind of forced to enter that Aries element of going somewhere no one else has been before, doing something no one else has done before. That is powerful, and it's really funny because I feel like a lot of you guys are seeing your situation as almost like a curse, like, oh, it can work for all these people, why won't it work for me? And it's funny because this very situation will turn you into the person that changes the game for everyone else. Not only are you going to forge a path for people who then want to follow in your footsteps, you're also going to just completely change the status quo. But in order to do that, you need to be faced with a situation that no one else has faced before. Here you go, you're welcome. That's what the universe is saying, like, you're welcome. We've laid it all out for you. You're very welcome to go about and invent your own solution. I love this energy for you, part one. And I know you're probably in your situation right now and you're like, oh, I hate this. Why would you say that? You will learn to find gratitude for it eventually when the work is done. So finally, let's take a look at advice and messages for your situation. First, we have the 7 Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. You might literally be an artist. You might be in a very creative field, or you might be in an unusual field. Or if this is about this relationship, you might be in a very unconventional relationship, in that maybe this is someone from a different part of society, a different country, different religion, different social status. And it's like no one has really seen this before, because with Birthing Creations, I'm seeing something so completely unique, so different to everything that already exists in your part of the world. And if this is about business, same thing applies. You might be looking at a very unconventional business idea. Again, the 7 Star Sisters, and there's 7 stars in this. Whoa! Oh, and there was a firework outside. That's crazy, bro. You might find a lot of answers stargazing, if that's the thing you're into. Get a telescope, I guess. Or just go out and look up at the night sky. You might find answers that way. You might find answers by exploring your starseed origins, potentially. And starseeds in general tend to be quite out there, quite very unconventional, but they don't know it. And unless they figure it out, they're going to do everything they can to fit in. And that might be something that resonates with your journey in life so far. So maybe worth looking up. But yeah, it does feel like whatever you do is going to completely alter the tapestry of life for everyone involved in the situation. And the things that you rue right now will one day be the things that make you glorious. That was poetic. I'm going to get that tattooed at some point. Next we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying the foundations, divine plan. This is what I'm saying. It's like you're laying a foundation for future generations. It could be literal, like you might end up having children with this person if that's what you're into, or just raising a new generation of people who think in a certain way. You might set the foundation for other young business owners who want to work in this field but have no idea where to begin, and you might be laying the foundation for them. It's so interesting, you guys. All of these cards kind of just like melt together. And finally we have the chameleon spirit in reverse. Act as if. Act as if. That's the overarching theme of your reading, is to act as if you already have what you are looking for and then work backwards from there. But you guys know I love to read from the book for this. So chameleon spirit, act as if. Protection message. Being sensitive and having empathy for others can become a heavy burden if you don't practice self-care. Could it be you're feeling stressed because you've tuned into challenging emotions that aren't even yours? What did we say? You're taking advice from people who don't even share the same vision as you. Chameleon spirit does not want you to adapt to these conditions by withdrawing or distracting yourself, hoping the feelings will just go away, or attempting to rescue another who may be having a pity party. It is time to figure out where you end and the rest of the world begins. Not all conditions are yours to match. You need to distinguish your own color from the rest of the world right now and take time out to soothe your sensitive soul. Self-care and a timeout is the answer to this temporary dilemma. Yeah, there we go. Self-care could help you a little bit. Do some face masks, take a nap, take some time away from work. Engage in a hobby. Pick up a new hobby, you know? Something that will take your mind off of the world as a whole and bring you back into your essence. That's great advice. So that is your reading for today, part 1. That was wonderful. I even feel inspired by this reading. So I hope it's done something for you guys as well. And if it has, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know how this resonated for you. Yeah, sorry. I'm just a little taken aback by just how much resonance there is around this. But yeah, you guys, I really hope this reading brought you some support and clarity. You can always stick around to the end of the outro for another reading on my channel. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me and letting me read for you today. I really hope it helped. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 2. Hello. Welcome to your reading about how you can bring balance to a specific situation. So if you picked this beautiful blue sodalite crystal, then this is your reading. Before we dive in, I should say you were one of 2 piles where all the cards wanted to come out in 2s. So I just wanted to put that out there in case you've been seeing repeating 2s, you've been seeing things come up in pairs. It's just extra confirmation. I guess it's angel numbers. But today we're going to dive into a specific situation in your life that might be imbalanced. So we'll start by taking a look at what the situation is. We'll then look at... now they don't want to come out in 2s. We'll then look at what the lesson is in this situation. And then finally, we'll look at how you can bring balance to the situation. Then, of course, we have our oracle cards, which will tell us about any advice the universe has for you when it comes to bringing balance to the situation. So without much further ado, that was a big horn. Without much further ado, what is the situation that needs to have balance? What is imbalanced? We have the Page of Cups. And to clarify that, we have the Four of Wands. Okay. This is sweet energy, pile 2. If you're not in a relationship, or if you're not in like a new connection of some sort, that kind of feels like you may have found the one, but you're not quite sure, that type of thing, then this might not be the pile for you, because this is clearly a reading about love and romance. So if that's not your thing, then this may not be the pile for you. But if it is, let's talk, because both of these cards indicate a soulmate connection. And it's the Page of Cups talks about someone with an open heart, a very young love. So this might be a very new connection. And then with the Four of Wands, it talks about celebration, and usually in this context, marriage. So with this red thread of fate, in this deck specifically, it talks about the red thread of destiny that connects lovers together, soulmates, that kind of thing. So you might be very, very attracted to each other, and you might find that conversation flows. There is an emotional connection. This could be the one. And you might be jumping the gun and going straight to, this is the person I want to marry. And you may well end up doing just that. However, the fact that it's come out in an imbalanced situation does not mean your relationship is imbalanced. If anything, I'm getting the vibe that you guys might just be it for each other, and this is a wonderful connection. The imbalance comes in when you start to lose yourselves in this connection. You start to lose yourselves into each other. With the Page of Cups, this is often seen as an emotionally immature card, where this is the youngest of the court cards in the suit of cups. So you could be at a stage in this connection where you're kind of so wrapped up in each other that you don't even stop to think about stuff that makes sense. And that's perfectly normal. It's that honeymoon phase. We've all been through it. It's great. It feels wonderful. You have that serotonin, dopamine rush. It's wonderful. You might be jumping straight to, this will be the one, and I am going to put all of my eggs in this basket. And that is where the imbalance comes in, because it almost feels like you are more than willing to just throw away everything you stand for if it means you can have this person in your life. And again, that's not me saying this is definitely you and you are definitely going to throw away everything about you in order to make this person happy. No. What I'm saying is, be careful. Because a lot of the times what we tend to forget is that when we enter a new connection, we're getting all these dopamine hits and all these endorphins and happy chemicals, and we're just vibing with someone and it's wonderful. We tend to forget that what attracted this person to us in the first place is who we are and what we do before they're in our lives. And so if you tend to be easily attached, and if you tend to be the kind of person who will happily change everything about yourself in order to please someone else, the irony is that you're doing that in order to please them, but the act of losing yourself makes them less attracted to you, because that's not the person they fell in love with. That's not the person that they were first attracted to. So I think the imbalance in the situation is, it's not so much that there is an imbalance. It's kind of like a gentle advice, because I'm not seeing any negativity here. This is a very happy, positive reading. So I guess this is just the universe gently reminding you that, don't let yourself go to that extreme where you drop everything in your life for this person, because they don't want that. They didn't ask for that. Hopefully they never will, if this is the person you're meant to end up with. And that's just your anxious self hoping that throwing everything else away and focusing your entire life around this person will mean that they won't leave you. And I think this message is coming up right now because you are quite early in your connection with this person. And so it's kind of like the universe is like, we need to time this message for right now so that it doesn't get to that point where you could lose a potential soulmate connection just because you lost yourself along the way. But let's see, what is the lesson here? I feel like I've rambled on for so long. The Hanged Man. And that is clarified by the Tower in reverse. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely sensing a bit of anxious attachment here. Are you the kind of person who will like wait by the phone and check your notifications just to see if they've texted constantly? I'm that person. I do this all the time. And that is just, another aspect of anxious attachment. But the lesson here is to reprogram. Because if this person is the one, if they are meant to be in your life long term, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can in order to actually keep them, not in order to not lose them. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to frame it in a way that makes sense because it makes sense in my mind. Words, please happen. So the Hanged Man talks about a new perspective, that Aquarian energy of doing things the way they haven't ever been done before. So in this case, it's asking you to look at your patterns in previous relationships that have not worked out, perhaps previous relationships that may have given you these attachment issues, this anxiety of, oh, what if I don't give enough and then I end up losing my person? What were things that you did then? Because those towers you built in those relationships are about ready to fall, but you keep holding on to them. And that's why we have the Tower in reverse. Those patterns of how you used to think and act in order to desperately keep someone in your life. And I'm assuming that involved just giving up everything that made you who you are, everything that was in your life before your person came in, before your previous partners came in, just throwing all of that away, completely basing your entire identity around this person. That pattern has led to chaos, conflict, turbulence, all of that in your life. And then they ended up leaving you anyway. So maybe that kind of behavior doesn't work. Maybe giving up everything about yourself doesn't actually make someone stay. And the lesson here today is trying to tell you to almost relearn and unlearn and relearn that made no sense. It's telling you to unlearn how you've handled relationships in the past and perhaps teach yourself a bit of patience, a bit of emotional permanence, a bit of security in who you are. Because a lot of, anxious attachment comes from feeling like I'm not good enough. And so if I don't do the most, this person won't stay for long. Whereas we want to go into secure, healthy attachment that talks about, I'm good, my life is brilliant, I'm doing wonderful things. If someone wants to be part of it, they are welcome. If they want to leave, I'll be fine. There'll be someone else who wants to be part of my life. So, because with this Tower in reverse, it almost feels like you're holding on to old patterns, and the universe really does not want you to. Your higher self really does not want you to, because this could be the person that you have been manifesting, you've been begging for, you've been wishing for the longest time. And if you haven't met them, they are very, very well on their way. They might show up very soon. But in order to actually make the most of this, in order to actually keep them around, the irony is you need to stop doing the things that you think will keep them around. And you need to just do you. That's the old cycles that you need to break. That's the new perspective you want to gain. That's the lesson in the situation. Because the imbalance isn't in the relationship itself, it is within. It is that need to give and give and give in the hope that someone will stay. That's not how humans work. That's not how feelings work, So, yeah, dude. So, wow, that is powerful stuff. But if you have met this person, dang, bro, congratulations. That is wonderful. And they deserve the best of you. So if the only way you can do stuff is you convincing yourself you're doing it for them, heal for them. Fix your old patterns for them. That will make them happy. Our final tarot cards are going to tell us how you can bring balance into the situation, although we've pretty much seen it. But we have the Queen of Wands. Yes, find your passions. Find the things that set you on fire and keep doing them. And we have Strength in reverse. Interesting. Strength is Leo energy. Okay, we'll circle back to that. Well, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is someone who knows what makes her happy. She knows what sets her on fire, and she knows exactly how to express that, how to enjoy the things that she's passionate about. So with the Queen of Wands here, I'm really not surprised. The way to bring balance to your inner world so that this relationship flourishes is to find what makes you happy. Find what makes you passionate about stuff and keep doing that. You might have creative hobbies, you might have creative breakthroughs that come through, but you don't want to throw those away because you think it will make someone else happy. If anything, it will make them sad to see you lose your sparkle. With the Strength in reverse, perhaps this isn't so much to do with strength itself, but that Leo stubborn energy of being very, very fixed and doing things very specific ways. With the Hanged Man, that's fixed energy as well. Aquarius. There's a lot of fixed energy here, and you're being called to unfix it, I guess. I'm curious as to why this strength is here. Actually, let's shuffle one more. Can we clarify the strength in reverse? It's been a while since I've shuffled on camera. Can we clarify the strength in reverse, please? How can pile 2 bring balance to the situation? Oh, whoa. Okay. We have the sun in reverse. Which way do you want to fall? Death in reverse. Okay. And the Hanged Man. Again, you guys, you're being called to just completely revamp everything you know about yourself. Okay, this is more Leo energy. This is Scorpio energy. There's Aquarius. There's so much fixed energy here, you guys. That's crazy. Okay. You're being called to just reconsider everything that you know about yourself and to just redefine what you see as your strengths and weaknesses, what you see as your highest points, what you see as endings. Because what attracts this person to you is not that you are their perfect match. They discover that you are their perfect match. What attracts them to you is who you are, what you project out into the world. That's what the sun is all about, right? What you project as an expression of your most vibrant self. We have the Hanged Man twice. We need to make some big changes here. And more specifically, changes in our perspective, changes in how we see ourselves, changes in how we see the world. With the Death in reverse, it's like you're avoiding a rebirth of some sort. Or it's not even so much a rebirth that you need to aspire to. It's more that you need to rediscover who you are. It's not that you want to change yourself. You want to change how you see yourself. Nuance. I like it. Yeah, you want to look at yourself from a different perspective. If you are strong enough, brave enough, wild enough, attractive enough to bring in someone that you put on such a high pedestal, if they are genuinely attracted to you, what does that say about you? What does that say about little old you that you underestimated if you can pull someone like this? You know what I'm saying? Rediscover your power, your vibrance, your wonders, the things that make you so incredible. It's almost like you want to see yourself through their eyes for a bit. It might be worth asking your person, if you're in a connection with them and if you're comfortable to that point, it might be worth asking them to tell you what they felt about you the first time they saw you, and the story of how they fell in love with you, how they realized they liked you, that kind of thing, because it might help you see yourself in a whole new way. That might be worth giving a shot. But the idea of balance in the situation has to come from within. It has to come from a place of knowing what you have to offer without changing the very core of who you are. Okay, let me just shuffle these cards around, make a little bit of space, because let's get into the oracle cards for any advice from the universe. So, first we have surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Make love to your person. Okay, no, surrender to the sweetness. There is so much beauty inside you. You're definitely being called to embrace that. And do you see how in this card, this guy is already there? Like, he is already in love. He has surrendered to the sweetness. I feel like this is your person and this is you still apprehensive about, am I even worthy to step into these waters? Am I good enough for this person? I'm so insecure. I don't know if I want to drop the cloak and just dive in. That kind of thing. It feels like this person is like beckoning you to just dive in. So I think, like, what if you just surrendered to these feelings and you surrendered to the idea that you are deserving of this connection, that you are deserving of this person, whether you've met them or not, whether you're together with them or not? What if you surrendered to the idea that maybe they're not lying to you, maybe they're telling the truth when they say they feel very strongly about you? You're being called to just dive headfirst and allow yourself to be celebrated for who you are. Not for what you can do for this person, but for how you make them feel just by being your truest, most authentic self. What if you let yourself dive into that feeling for a bit? See what happens. Next, we have no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. Interesting. This could be referring to your intrusive thoughts. You might be at the point where you're like, maybe I should just break it off because, or maybe I should just throw away everything about who I am, because otherwise this person is going to leave. Wait, pause. Say no to your intrusive thoughts. If this person has asked you out, I don't think this card is saying, oh, say no. I think it's more, stop. Your tendency might be to do the most on this date. Pause. Take a second. Postpone your insecurities for another time when you have a safe space. For now, just dive right in. Interesting. Finally, we have the wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. It does feel like a lot of these fears that you're holding on to come from a place of experience, from people in the past whom you have trusted like this, you have allowed yourself to be your true self in front of, and they didn't reciprocate. They didn't like it. They didn't let you be yourself or want you to be yourself because it didn't serve them for you to be that way. And that could be what you're holding on to, refusing to let go of or unable to let go of at this time. And that's causing all of this insecurity. But perhaps you're being called to just see it as, stuff happens sometimes. It doesn't mean I was a bad person. It doesn't mean I don't deserve to be my best self. It just means that sometimes people are trash. But let's see, wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. Not all that spirit creates in nature is easy to love, but when we look through the eyes of wasp spirit, we recognize that even though sometimes life stings, there is a purpose for pain, just as there is a purpose for wasps in the natural world. Wasps keep insect populations down, supporting the growth of plants. So too, the sting of life may hurt, and you may feel deeply disappointed or even resentful, but you will soon come to see that spirit has something wonderful in store for you. Have you ever looked back and been glad your prayers weren't answered because the path that you took led to something far better? Wasp spirit is a reminder to reflect on those times, for today's sting may hurt, but something better awaits you. Your past is not your future is essentially what we're getting there. So there's your reading for today, pile 2. Very, very interesting. I really hope it brought you some support and clarity. And if it did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this resonated for you. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and spending some time with me and letting me do this reading for you. I do hope it helped. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Hi pile 3, and welcome to your reading about how to bring balance to a specific situation in your life. So if you picked this really pretty carnelian stone, then this is your reading. That was loud. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards. We have some tarot cards, and these are going to tell us what situation in your life is out of balance right now, what the lesson is, from this imbalance, and then finally how you can bring balance to the situation. And then with our oracle cards, we'll take a look at any advice, messages the universe has for you about this situation. So let's dive in. What situation in your life is out of balance right now? We have the Knight of Coins, and that is clarified by the Lovers. Okay, interesting. The Knight of Coins clarified by the Lovers. There is something that you are being overly cautious about. A situation in your life where it's like it's perfect for you, and yet you're almost like terrified to make a move. This could be a person. It could be a potential partner that, you feel like is perfect for you, but then you're not really making any moves towards them. In either case, it feels like you want to know how every single thing will work out. And if it is exactly to your liking, then you'll take the first step. It's like, okay, so I'm getting the image of a seesaw. When we played on seesaws as children, and how if you and your friend were the same weight, you kind of had to like jump off the ground so that they could fall, and then they had to jump off the ground so you could fall. It feels like you're at one end and you could bring perfect balance to the situation, but it's like you're refusing to jump off the ground, and then you're wondering why you're all the way down. The Lovers is Gemini energy. It's twin energy. So it feels like whatever the situation is, I'm not quite getting clarity about what this is. But whatever it is the perfect fit for you. It's like mirroring you almost. And it's perfect is what I keep hearing. It's like your spirit guides are in my ear. Like, it's perfect. Tell them it's perfect. Just do it. Just do it. It's like you're caught between this like heavy, solid unflinching, unmoving earth energy and this chaotic out there air energy that you want to be in, but you can't get yourself to, because the Knight of Coins is the slowest knight of the lot. He will not make a move unless he knows for sure that it is safe and it is productive to make a move. However, it's like, okay, that's smart, but that also means that this opportunity could slip away if you take too long, you know? And the imbalance might be that you're struggling with anxiety of like, oh, should I make a move? What if I make the wrong move? And also FOMO of like, what if I take too long and this thing moves on? It could be like an event coming up that you've been invited to and you're like, should I go? Is it worth my time? What if I end up hating it? What if I end up feeling alone and lost and awkward? But also, what if there is a wonderful opportunity here and I miss it if I don't go? It could be a work opportunity. Someone's offered you a new job. It's a little different to what you're used to. It might be in a different location, but it is perfect for you. And then you're like, oh, but what if I go there and end up hating it and then I can't come back? And what if it fails? What if it falls through at the last minute and I've already put in my notice here? Like that kind of thing. But this feels like a genuine dilemma. Like, it feels like there is so much merit to both sides of the argument, to like jumping in and, you know, going out and chasing the thing, but also being cautious. It's like, it's not even imbalanced. Each side is right in its own right. The situation is perfectly balanced, but also you have to upset the balance and make a decision. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, you guys. You could very well be switching jobs. You could be wondering whether to stay in a connection or leave, or whether to jump into a connection or leave it alone. What else could this be referring to? A big life decision. Should I have children? Should I wait? Should I change career paths? Should I wait? Should I go back to school? Should I keep working? Should I switch majors? It's like there's that cautious side of you that's trying to be logical, and then there's the passionate side of you that wants to chase after this thing that's on offer, and you're not able to decide. Oh, that's a tough one, Pearl 3. That's a tough one. Man, it's almost like you want a yes or no answer here of whether you should make the leap or not. But let's see, what is the lesson in this situation though? We have the High Priestess in reverse. And that is clarified by the Queen of Wands. The lesson here is to follow your passion. Pearl 3. Follow your passion, because the High Priestess in reverse, the High Priestess upright talks about your intuition, knowing exactly what to do, having complete faith in the choices that you make. Whereas the Queen of Wands is about following your passion, knowing what sets you alight and just doing it. Going out there, conquering the world. And don't take this as me telling you what to do in this situation, but what I am telling you to do is consider which side of this seesaw you feel more passionately about. Not anxious about, but more passionately about. Which one makes you eager? If you look at your future 5 years from now, which potential future would make you happier? And, there's no right or wrong answer. And this isn't the only opportunity that will ever come your way. Of course not. If you are meant to grow in a certain way, if your path is meant to go in a certain way, an infinite number of opportunities will come your way until you take one. It is just the way the universe works. You'll be brought to the same lesson over and over again until you learn it. So it's okay if you choose to be cautious and let this one slide by, another one will come. So with that out of the way, which potential future rather, would make you happier? Which potential future would make you want to get out of bed? That's the lesson here, is to learn how to make these decisions based on what makes you happy, what fills your soul with this joie de vivre, what makes you want to look forward to what comes next. Wow. So such a simple, elegant solution. With a High Priestess in reverse, it feels like your intuition might feel a little bit blocked right now. And that's probably because of this anxiety or this dilemma, It's perfectly normal. Our intuition is a sense. And sometimes our senses either go into overdrive or shut down when we are stressed. It is, perfectly expected, really. Something you could almost be like, yeah, that happens all the time when I'm stressed. It happens to me all the time when I'm stressed. My intuition just goes, bye. But don't take that as a sign of anything. That is just a psychological response to the stress that you are under. You know how when we're in fight or flight, our sense of sight and sound just kind of sharpens up, whereas we don't even notice maybe our sense of taste or, our sense of what else is there? Touch? I don't know. But you know how sometimes it heightens certain parts of your body and then suppresses others? It's just like that. So I wouldn't worry about the intuition is not working thing being a sign of anything. But I think what you are meant to learn from this dilemma is to follow your joy, to follow what makes you happy, as opposed to what makes sense. To take that leap of faith in whichever direction you go, and trust that if you did accidentally make the wrong decision, it's only because there's lessons to be learned there, and also the universe will make sure that you don't just completely mess up, and the universe will just bring you right back to your last saved checkpoint and you can have another go. Because that's how lessons work. That's the cyclical nature of human existence. How can you bring balance to the situation, though? We have the Six of Swords, clarified by the Three of Cups in reverse. I think the advice here is to not hype this up. When you look at the situation, when you look at this decision that needs to be made, you might be looking at it through a lens of I need to make this decision right now. This is urgent. This is going to change my life forever. This is going to make or break my future. We tend to do that. We tend to catastrophize. And that's normal. But the advice here is to take a few steps back, reconsider, because you could always just say no to this opportunity and your life will be Just fine, completely unchanged. So now that we have that option, we can take that, put it in our back pocket, and consider the possibilities with a slightly more stable approach. So if complete and utter failure is just not an option, if we still have the chance right now in this moment, before we've made the decision, we have a chance to stay where we are, nothing changes, nothing is ruined, as a backup. Now can we consider the potential outcomes of saying yes or no in a more relaxed way? You might find that your intuition comes back even. Well, there's Three of Cups in reverse. The Three of Cups talks about like a high energy situation, celebration, and, being with your friends and everyone just so excited to be together. You've done something successfully and, blah, 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 blah. In reverse, in this scenario, it's kind of telling me that you might be too attached, almost obsessed with the thought of this has to be successful. This has to 100% be successful. If it's not successful, that reflects terribly on me. If I mess up and if I take this opportunity and it doesn't pan out, people are going to think I'm stupid. People are going to think I made a dumb decision. People are going to blah, 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 blah. It's going to be my fault that I ruined my life and, this and that. And you're being called right now to maybe let go of that judgment that you've already put in yourself before you've even made a decision. Do you see how we've gone to worst case scenario immediately without even considering anything? I feel like that's where you're at right now with this dilemma, is it's going to go completely wrong and I'm going to mess up. But then also, if I don't take it, I'm going to miss this opportunity forever. And then someone else is going to get it. And I'm forever going to wonder, what if I had taken this opportunity? My life could have been so different, blah, blah, blah. It's like you're catastrophizing. And with the Six of Swords, move to calmer waters. When you do, you will find that this whole idea of either it's going to be perfect and everyone's going to celebrate, or it's going to be tragic and I'm going to have no friends and no one's going to love me and I'm going to be alone and sad and destroyed and failed. It's like a very extreme way of thinking. What if we put the extremes aside? Come back to our center, ground a little bit, and consider from maybe a less emotionally reactive point of view. Can we do that and calmly consider all the potential outcomes of this situation and then make a decision? Because then you'll find that your intuition kicks in, your logic kicks in, your decision making kicks in, all of that, and you'll end up just making the right decision for you. That's how you bring balance to the situation. I know it's way easier said than done. I know. Okay, I know. I don't wanna be like, oh, just figure it out, but you do kind of just need to figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. You need to find a way to sit down, put all the emotion that you've attached to the situation, put it to one side, put it away in a box, lock and key, throw the key away for now. Reconsider the situation, the possibilities, through a purely logical mind. And I don't mean logical as in don't think about which one will make you happy. I'm saying logical in the sense of let's not panic. Okay. So finally, let's dive into any advice the universe has for you. We have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. Look at everything from a wider perspective. Can we zoom out from this situation? Can we stop thinking in terms of this is either a win or a lose and everything's going to go either perfectly right or perfectly wrong? Does it matter? 5 years from now, when you are settled into whatever decision you make, will any of this matter? Chances are it really won't. So with that clarity in our minds, can we look at this situation as a temporary decision we need to make, and whatever the outcome from whatever choice we make, we're going to be okay and we're going to figure a way out. We're going to figure out how to work with it and work through it and make the best of the situation. Can we do that? I think we can. Next we have get grounded. That's what I'm saying. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. You might find that sitting in grass, literally go touch some grass. It might help. It might help for you to get out into the backyard or go sit by the ocean, sit on a beach somewhere. You might find that really helps. There's a lot of nature imagery here, actually. There's this, and this. It's all like outdoor scenes. Definitely work on grounding your energy though, pile 3, because I feel like you're a little all up in your head right now, a little like hyperactive higher chakras right now, and you need to really connect to that root a little bit and find a sense of like stability, security, and that will allow you to consider the pros and cons of each side with a more stable, logical mind. Isn't it wonderful when the cards all like align to the message? Finally, we have the armadillo spirit in reverse. Set healthy boundaries. Thank you. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to figure out how this goes. Because with the armadillo spirit, I feel like armadillos, aren't they the guys who like when they feel threatened, they kind of like curl up into a shell? I feel like I was speaking to someone about armadillos a little while ago. They kind of curl up and they have this like hard shell around them. And I feel like that's your natural instinct, is to just stay in your defense position until you know that everything is perfectly safe. And then you come out a little bit. Let's see what the message is, though. It's very interesting. Armadillo spirit, set healthy boundaries, protection message. This is a tricky time, as you may find yourself enmeshed with others, overly concerned with how they will take it if you say no or express how you really feel. Armadillo spirit asks you to be honest with yourself and others, no matter how difficult that may be, or how much you may fear losing someone or something. Face your fear, tell the truth, and set your boundaries. You'll be amazed at the miracles that happen when you let Armadillo Spirit protect you from taking on too much, becoming a people pleaser, and losing your integrity. Another message of protection from Armadillo Spirit is to relax. Live and let live. If you or someone else is being defensive, you are being called to step back and trust in Spirit's plan. There's a lot of relax, step back, zoom out, find your center, find what makes you happy. Fascinating stuff, pile 3. I know this wasn't like a yes or no answer that you were looking for, but I guess the point is you don't need someone to tell you yes or no. You need to find a way to tell yourself, to find a way to contact your higher self and get answers from there, instead of relying on external validation. But that's your message for today, pile number 3. I really, really hope it helped and resonated. If it did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this message worked for you. I'm always curious to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for being here today and spending some time with me and letting me read for you. It's been so fascinating. But yeah, thanks for being here. Stick around to the outro just after this for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.